Oh, I am willing to bet that Erika Kirk is pissed about the new skit that Druski just released. Can't nobody say that this man is not funny. And I fear Druski ate. The first part of this skit, he shows up with the sparklers in that all-white outfit. Let me tell you, he got the look right all the way from the hair on her head to the shoes on her feet. Stop. Then the devil stare that nobody can forget. And once again, I fear Druski ate. Then he goes into the weird, awkward scenes where it always feels like she's making herself look like she's crying. And no, he couldn't forget the hand gesture, because she never fails to do this after she gets done looking like she's about to cry. And then throwing his twist on Erika Kirk's weird speeches that just never land right. I just know Erika Kirk right now is sitting back looking at this skit with those devilish eyes. She is so mad about this. Because I'm afraid that Druski didn't miss one time with his representations of Erika Kirk. But y'all, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
MAGA snowflakes are melting down. You know why? They're ticked. Because, you know, Druski the comedian. Druski the comedian had someone white chick him, meaning, you know, the Wayans movie, like white chicks, and he had someone do that. But his version of white chicks bears an uncanny resemblance to Erika Kirk. And it is, I have to admit, it's really funny, but the MAGA folks are ticked off. The very same people who wanted to bring back the R word. I want to be able to say the R word. I can't, nobody can say anything. Everybody gets canceled. You can't even be a comedian anymore. Why aren't you letting comedians be comedians? And now they are ticked because this is some biting cultural commentary about Erika Kirk. Now, about, well, MAGA women, but it looks like Erika Kirk. But so Erika Kirk is putting herself out there. Whether you like it or not, she's in the public eye, and that's what happens when you're in the public eye. And now they're pissed off saying, you could have waited, her husband died. Why is it different when it's Charlie Kirk? Why is it different when it's one of you? Come on, MAGA. Stop being the snowflakes that you claim the Democrats are, and grow a pair. What's good for the goose is good for the Druski.
I just know when Candace Owens saw this, she was dying. And also, I like what Druski's been doing lately. He's been pushing the envelope and not being afraid to get canceled and trying to be a comedian and make things funny. Because as we all know, so many people are just so sensitive with every little thing that comedians do these days that most comedians are afraid to do what they do. By Druski being the one to take that step, I think it's kind of given more comedian confidence to come out and go back to making things funny and not care about people being so overly emotional about everything that is meant to be a joke. The last 4 or 5 skit Druski put out, he did not miss.
At this point, Druski is just Roger from American Dad. Because how was he this spot on with the costumes? Every time you think he cannot outperform himself, he does better than the last time.
Hello you all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kola, and have you guys been seeing and following with this whole Druski Erika Kirk situation? Because honestly, the internet is full of debate. And so basically, Druski did this skit where he was imitating Erika Kirk, and he was like exaggerating how she behaves. And at first, people are laughing about it, but it slowly turned into this bigger conversation about comedy and race and where the line actually should be when it comes to comedy.
So Erika Kirk said, oh, but if I did blackface, I would be canceled and called a racist. Listen, Druski is a comedian. He's doing his job. You're a politician. Do your job. Now, the whole black people can't be racist, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, people believe whatever you want to believe. It doesn't matter. But what the true fact is, let's say black people can be racist. We can never be racist to the degree that white people are racist to black people. That's a fact. So you have to put that in play a million times. And a lot of people that screaming blackface talking about, oh, if I did blackface, do it. Do it. Go ahead, do it. And you know why you won't do it? It's because you know it's not the same thing. You speaking on blackface when a lot of you weren't even fucking live when blackface was going on. A lot of people, now, a lot of us have been taught what blackface was by people that were there when it happened. What did your families tell you about blackface? How did you learn about blackface? Because black people learned it from black people that went through it. So, what'd you think?
Do it. Do it. Now, I don't know if Erika Kirk really said this about Druski's skit. I don't know if y'all want to see what Druski's skit was about. Y'all can go ahead and watch that. But if this is true, and Erika Kirk said, but if I did blackface as a part of a skit, I'd be canceled and called a racist. I don't know if she said that, but for all the people who have that same idea, that same sentiment in their mind, do it. Like, let's be for real for a second, right? If Erika Kirk put on blackface and pretended to be a black woman or a black man or whatever, do you think she would actually lose any fans? Do you think Turning Point USA would actually lose any fans? No, they wouldn't. She wouldn't be canceled because her fans are already racist and they already hate black people. You know what I mean? They already, like, what would she lose? Her husband was a racist, you know. Her husband didn't like, you know what I mean? Like, so go ahead and do it, man. Like, no one's stopping you because your fans are already racist. They already hate black people. They already hate minorities. Do it.
And here's where it gets interesting. Erika Kirk responded and basically flipped the whole thing. Yeah, she was like, okay, if I did a skit imitating a blackface, would you guys laugh it off? Or would you get me cancelled or even call me racist? But I want to hear from you guys what you think about that. But let's first watch how people are reacting to this. And then we're going to come back with a full commentary at the end of the video.
The whites are mad at Druski, but how can you be mad at somebody who's so comedically accurate? Because Druski is the ugliest woman I've ever seen in my life. So he does a new video, a parody video. Apparently he's Erika Kirk. It's very clear. And shout out to Ben Him because he put the side-by-side comparison. He put the side-by-side comparison of Erika Kirk and Druski. And I'm just spot on. But if that wasn't convincing enough, the New York Post actually did the comparison for us. Now, individuals online were saying it. Druski never said it explicitly, but the New York Post basically made it true that he was parodying Erika Kirk. But Druski in his caption just said conservative women. He never said Erika Kirk's name, but that's how they take it. And that's how conservatives are going to take it. It's nobody's fault that conservative women have a look to them. They have a look to them. I can't put my finger on it, but it's like, they have this look about them that's very like, it's like an attempt to look pure, but it always looks like swamp monster. I can't really put my finger on it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But shout out to Druski. I think the skit is funny. I've watched it several times while battling the flu. He's just great. He's a comedian I will always defend. Hopefully.
If you open the dictionary and turn to the word nightmare, this photo pops up. This is actually the most terrifying thing I have ever seen in my life. And everyone keeps saying that this is a parody of Erika, last name redacted, but I honestly think he looks nothing like her. Okay, well, maybe y'all do have a point. And yes, come to think of it, I guess it's reasonable that people might raise an eyebrow about why Erika, last name redacted, went on a 50-state world tour immediately after her husband was violently and graphically murdered on a college campus on a live stream. But everyone grieves differently. Some people cry, some people go on a concert world tour. Who am I to judge? Aside from Druski's video being biblically accurate, I do need to know who is in the hair and makeup department because this wig, baby, this wig is serious. These must be the same people making Beyonce's wigs, okay? At this point, the budget simply does not exist. It's unlimited. Druski, this skit was wild. Turning Point USA is unfortunately drafting a smear campaign against you as we speak, and in about 3 to 5 business days, they will have you packed up because the numbers on this video are going crazy. It's at like 30 million views, what, in like less than 24 hours? Oh, brother, I'm already irritated because the discourse on this for the next 40 days and 40 nights is about to be miserable until Turning Point USA chimes in. Next case.
Last night, Druski delivered perhaps his magnum opus with a Daniel Day-Lewis style transformation into the grieving widow Erika Kirk, and I feel watching this like I am watching Wilt score 100 against the Knicks. This is a transcendent, generational performance from Druski. If you missed it, here you go.
War is raging in Iraq. Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Also have to say, I feel there are shades of Caroline Leavitt in this performance, who stands there with a cross on every single day, lying to the American people and justifying the misdeeds of the administration. This type of satire is so important because it allows us collectively to look at someone who does not have a sincere bone in her body, who is doing something that is incredibly strange and has been for a long time, and say, what is going on here? If you think that last bit was too harsh, here are Erika Kirk's own words.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man. Especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there.
I have no idea what the hell she's talking about there, but this is the type of absurd self-victimization that we all collectively should be able to look at and again say, what are you talking about? This is not about just being a Christian. Made a video last night about Alan Richardson, who is a Christian who speaks out about the Catholic Church, speaks out about Donald Trump. He's not blinded by his faith. He's still able to see the world clearly. This type of satire is so important as we sit on the edge of conflict that could expand into world war, when we have a Secretary of Defense who is covered in white Christian nationalist and crusader imagery. If you ever watched Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven, Deus Vult, God wills it, is not a slogan that is used by the heroes, it's used by the warmongers. Men like Baldwin and Salahadin treat each other with respect and dignity. It comes at a time when Erika Kirk is not just the CEO of Turning Point, right? She just got put onto the board of the Air Force Academy. She was put there not just to attack DEI programs, right, but also to instill white Christian nationalism into the academy. And I think all of us on the left, on the right, we can all come together and ask ourselves, what is Erika Kirk doing on the board of the Air Force Academy? Also ask ourselves, why is Erika Kirk, as the CEO of Turning Point, not coming out and saying, well, my husband was actually speaking out against war with Iran? Why is she not saying that? Why is she not saying the day before he died, he was sitting on Ben Shapiro's show questioning Israel, which resulted in Ben Shapiro raising his eyebrows like this? The element of her husband that Erika Kirk seems to be willing to carry forward is his white supremacy. I think we collectively as a society need to keep our boot on the neck of these people who try to use the Bible to justify war that has absolutely nothing to do with America.
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers.
The cinematic masterpiece that Druski dropped last night has had almost 60 million views across platforms, and we need to talk about it today. Specifically in relation to all the smooth brains out there that keep complaining that us using our voices and doing things like No Kings isn't actually doing anything. And to understand why Druski making a video pointing out how insane conservatives look right now is shocking, you have to understand who Druski is. He is a huge sketch comedian, yes, but he is pretty mainstream as far as things go. He works with people like Timothy Chalamet, Theo Vaughn, Tom Brady, and he's especially large with young men, and he hangs out a lot with the streamer community. And whilst you can argue that yes, everything is political, and some of his sketches, including his recent megachurch sketch, are a little more obvious than others, he generally remains pretty brand safe. So when you combine all of that together, stepping out in Erika drag is still pretty bold. And it goes to show how unignorably humiliating the right is looking. Their disapproval ratings since last year have been skyrocketing. And what else started last year and has been growing exponentially ever since? The No Kings. The one that was in June had 1,800 locations and about 5 million people turned out. In October, there was 2,500 locations and 7 million turned out. The one they have planned for this Saturday is aimed to be maybe the biggest nationwide event this country's ever seen. There's over 3,000 locations planned nationwide. They're saying there's going to be more than 7 million people at this one. Some estimates say even boldly over 10 million. I mean, the main one that's planned here in St. Paul is going to have over 100,000 people alone. And I can't even be mad that I didn't get a Lollapalooza ticket anymore because Bruce Springsteen, along with an insane lineup of other celebrities, is going to be here. And do I think that this is caused by these events alone? No, that's a stupid thing to say. But it's also stupid to think that 7 to 10 million people showing up for something isn't making a difference. At the end of the day, 7 to 10 million people is at very least getting this in front of people's faces and making it pretty hard to ignore at this point on a mainstream level.
Druski, Erika Kirk, freedom of speech. Let's get into it. Druski released a video out into the internet. He's dressed up like Erika. He's coming out with the sparkles. He's in his car ordering lattes and matchas. He's speaking before the press and then even times holding a holy Bible. It's this man right here, Druski, dressing up as this woman right here, Erika Kirk. As a matter of fact, Brandon, roll that clip.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great.
The holy blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Chai Eyes Matcha.
Especially all white men.
Some people on the internet are saying, oh my God, Druski, he's going to be getting sued by Erika Kirk for that video. Absolutely not. This is pure satire. It's just making fun. It's just having a little bit of fun, a little bit of a pokey poke. And not only that, Druski makes a pretty good looking Erika Kirk.
Now people are split into two sides, and one side is people are saying, relax, it's Druski, he's a comedian, he does this all the time, he imitates even pastors. And there's this other side who feel like, but at first, that's an exaggerated character, like it wasn't meant to hurt anyone, but there's this other side where people think there are lines people shouldn't cross, and it felt offensive. But there's this other side of people who think if roles were reversed, it wouldn't be funny at all. Like, black people are mad when white people try to do a blackface. But when it's roles reversed, it now becomes a racist topic. Now the conversation isn't even just about Druski's skits anymore. It's about double standards. Like, does intent matter at this point anymore? Or does history and context matter more? Because some people are bringing up this whole history behind blackface and why it's way deeper than just a joke. While others are like, comedy should be free. If we start policing everything, then nothing will be funny anymore. And honestly, everyone is right in this to comment how they feel about it. But also, you've got people being more sensitive to topics that linger on race. And people are trying to really protect their boundaries, and it shouldn't get to that point. But at the same time, you've got people who feel like comedy is being boxed in too much. And some things are not comedy. And I think what makes this situation hit harder is that it's not clear-cut. It's not one of those where everyone agrees, like, it's funny, it's wrong. This certain skit Druski did is now exposing how different people see humor depending on who is telling the joke and where it's coming from. And low-key, it shows how complicated comedy is becoming in this era, because now it's not just about it's funny to everyone. It's about who said it and what does it represent. People have to really digest jokes too much nowadays. And in this case, Erika Kirk's situation really got people furious and really talking. Like, it's bigger than a skit. And it's really a conversation about where comedy stands today and whether the rules are the same for everyone till to date. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Tell me how you feel about this Druski Erika Kirk skit. Tell me how you feel about it, or people are just overreacting, because this is not the first time Druski has done such skits. Like, we are already used to him doing the skits. And finally, credit goes to all the respective owners of the clips and content used in my video. The thoughts and perceptive guys made today's work possible. And if you loved today's video and you would want to see more of this, ensure you leave a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video widely, as it helps the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next one.